All right, welcome back, everybody. Last week, government announced it had reached a 3-year agreement with its 1.3 million public sector employees. In the deal reached after 7 months of negotiations, the workers will receive a 7% increase backdated to April. Nathi Mthethwa is the acting Minister of Public Service and Administration. He now joins us in the studio to talk more about this. Minister, thank you very much for joining us and welcome to the programme.
Thank you, Leanne.
All right, so let's uncover all of this. Now, will the agreement enable the preventions of further upheaval in the public service?
Well, yes. Firstly, I would want to express my gratitude to all those who participated, our team from government and the team from organised labour. It's been a long 6 months of engagement. And the good news is that at the end of the day, we find each other. So from now onwards, for the next 3 years, we'll be concentrating on what we're supposed to do, all of us, of delivering the services to our people. And it's all of us back to our work and serving the nation, basically. Because this strike, its victory can be measured with the possible impact, negative impact it would have had in our economy in a situation where we are still, undergoing that very difficult moment in our economy. So it is a victory for all the people of this country.
Are you concerned about the wage bill escalating, given warnings by Treasury?
Well, it's always a worry, I must say, because of the nature of the public service. Our government has 1.3 million public servants. And, from that point of view, you'd always be concerned on the escalation of the wage bill. And it has been escalating. If you look for the past decade, for instance, on average, government has employed 70-80% people more. If you look from 2003 to 2013 and so on. So that tells you that the government is the major employer, and because of that, the wage bill is ever escalating, and hence Treasury and all of us in government would be worried, because what it says is that the additional revenue, which otherwise would be directed to basic needs of our communities, have to go to wages, and it's something you can't ignore or overlook. Workers have to be paid, and that has to be coupled with the services which our people have to receive.
Yeah. Let's talk about the housing subsidy, because I think that's probably one of the clear issues and one of the big problems is the housing subsidy. How's the matter being resolved? Let's first begin there.
Well, the matter is firstly is being resolved. Firstly, you would know that up until now, workers have been getting 900 rands for housing subsidy, and our agreement took it up to 1,200. Where we have not finalized things is on the policy itself, because there are suggestions of the subsidy being extended to spouses as well. And we have agreed that for the next 12 months, together we'll be working on the nitty-gritties of the policy to cover all the gaps which are there in our policy, so that come the next round of negotiations, 3 years down the line, we are not faced with a situation where we'll start afresh this very area. And it's an area which government has been engaging with organised labour on for some time. As I said, we just need to speed up the process of actually finalising the policy. But overall, with that and the medical aid scheme and the cost of living adjustment, there is agreement, at least from the majority point of view, and that makes us to have a sigh of relief, as it were, to say that at least we can now talk about how do we serve our public. How will we ensure that by the time we reach the last outer year, which is the third year of this agreement, would look back and say, well, with the agreement we have reached, people have found benefit out of that.
So you do believe that the government employee housing scheme is a solution in the long run?
Well, it would be a solution because, as I say to you, it's not a unilateral matter. It is a matter which we are engaging on with Labour. Of course, from the perspective of Labour, we should have, concluded this matter some time ago. I think that we also share that view, that the sooner we deal with this and put it aside, because we do not want a situation where government at all times with the organised labour are at loggerheads on negotiations, on the cost of living adjustment and other areas which would then consume our energies, instead of looking at how do we improve, how do we ensure that public servants internalize Batupili principle in serving our nation, as it were. How do we improve where there are gaps, particularly to that? Because at the end of the day, whatever we are doing on behalf of the majority of people of South Africa who would want to see their lives improved, who would want to see the basic needs being provided to them, without any, things which they would say that there is no service delivery, we don't see any improvement and so on. That should be our focus, and we, as we discuss, are at one in terms of that.
Do you foresee or intend to see a freezing of posts in the public sector?
Well, not that foreseeing. Actually, as government, we have said that, for instance, if you have a post or posts which have not been filled for the past 3 years, why would you want to continue? Why would you want to fill them now? It means those posts are not needed. You then have to soldier on, because what you want to see and do is that as much as possible, whatever can be saved to be put into the actual service delivery program of government would be done. And if the fads are from that point of view and have to be cut, then that would happen. It is a situation with government, and we have agreed that should be a situation. Otherwise, we think that with what we said we are agreeing on would really give relief to everybody, all South Africans. Okay. And we are saying to South Africans that no, relax, there would be no strike, there would be no upheaval. We are now going to concentrate on the way forward.
Well, it's been a long, protracted negotiation, 7 months, and this agreement has been reached with 1.3 million public sector employees, and let's just hope that this is a great strive and a step forward for the future of public sector employees. Thanks for joining us, Minister. It's always a pleasure speaking to you.
Thanks so much.
Before we actually wrap it and take an ad break, I know that you're wearing 2 hats at the moment, the Public Service Minister in that acting capacity, but you're also our Arts and Culture Minister. And there's the most beautiful photograph of you celebrating at the Africa Day celebrations yesterday, even though Africa is today. So have a look at this lovely photograph, which we found in the newspaper today. There you are, getting down in the white shirt in the middle there. How was it? What did it feel like there?
Well, it felt so good to be a South African and an African, because it was celebration, and we have to find time to celebrate ourselves as Africa.
Indeed.
There are many positive things.
I'm so glad. Just as we wrap this on Africa Day, as the Arts and Culture Minister, what is your message to South Africans on this Africa Day?
Well, the message is that South Africans should understand that there's only one Africa. whether we are in Ghana or Nigeria or South Africa, nobody would be a foreigner in Africa being an African.
Yeah. And that's what your badge says. We are Africa and we are one. So, Minister, thank you very much for joining us here on the
Thanks
program.
so much.
Always lovely speaking to you. All right, let's take a break here on the program.